Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Living on Blockchain. Today, we are speaking to Akshay. He's the CEO of Chimp Exchange, which they're building on 10 blockchain. They are also building another cross-chain DEX on Linear, which is live already. So he's basically working a lot in the DeFi space, and he had a lot of interesting insights about the DeFi space in general and how we see it moving ahead in this particular bull run. I can't wait for you guys to hear this. Let's deep dive right in. Hi, Akshay. Thank you so much for making the time to speak to me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Risha. Thanks for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. And for our listeners, and just to add some context to the rest of the conversation, can you tell us a little about yourself and how you got into Web3?
Absolutely. So I guess I've been working in a corporate job for the last 6 years in 2016, and I was around that time 2016 when I got to know about blockchain. And I heard of Bitcoin but never dived into it. So in 2016, my interest peaked, and that's when I start bought my first Bitcoin and started exploring Web3. And also at the same time, DeFi was just getting started with a lot of things. So at that time, I thought, okay, this is the industry that I would move in. And in 2017, I started working with a couple of projects while I was still working. And at that time, it just grew on me. Maybe you can say I was into marketing, and Web3 marketing is one thing that I started exploring more. And since then, I've been into blockchain and full time started working around 2019.
All right. So there were some projects that you were consulting with earlier.
Yes, that's correct. I was working with a couple of projects because at that time I was just testing my abilities, how much I can put in from my side. So consulting few projects in marketing, and then I learned a lot as well from my mistakes, and then kept advising until 2022 to a lot more projects. I've worked with more than 10 plus projects, advise them with marketing on Quest platforms, how they can grow their user base and such.
Lovely. And now, can you tell us a little about Chimp Exchange and what you're building currently? And how did you go from being a consultant to starting something of your own? What was that inflection point?
Yes. So, as in 2022 around, I was also working on my own marketing agency. I had set up my own marketing agency where I was helping other projects. But then it turned out a lot of projects in the 2022 year was just raising money and just dumping it out, and just getting out of the market. And we thought, okay, we as a team we have been experiencing crypto from the last 4 5 years, and we can provide value to the community as well. So we were thinking on the idea in 2022, but we took our time. We and my co-founders, so Rahul and Saurabh, we were three guys who were working on the idea of what could be the one thing that we could work on and provide value to the users. And 2023 around June, we same time, like it's been a year, when we started working on creating an ecosystem where DeFi can become simple. So what we saw was that DeFi was getting complicated with a lot more blockchains. When we started, there was just couple of blockchains in hand, but by 2023, it has 100 plus blockchains, so many DEXs, so many bridges. So we thought it has become complicated. So when the new user comes in, it should be easier for them to onboard Web3. That's when the Chimp ecosystem idea was born, where our vision was to make DeFi simple, safe, and secure. So that's when we started Chimp Exchange. And about Chimp Exchange, I would say we are building the first encrypted DEX. So, and we are doing that by building it on 10 blockchain, which is the first encrypted L2 blockchain. And Chimp is the first native DEX on 10 blockchain. By that, we provide users a complete encryption in terms of trading, so that their transactions are never being recorded. If their private balances of wallets are never being tracked, so they can trade in complete confidentiality.
All right, okay. So this is like now that you've given me a little more context. I think you met my co-founder yesterday at the Pivot brunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he told me
Yes,
a little
yes.
about what you guys are doing. Okay, so can you tell us a little about this is a wonderful coincidence that he met you yesterday and he was telling me yesterday in the evening sometime that you guys are building on 10 blockchain. Can you tell me a little about this chain? Because I think my information here is a little foggy. Can you tell me a little about the chain? What is the advantages of this particular blockchain?
Yes. So there are many. There are, if you see right now, there are 100 plus blockchains which are
Right.
building, and most of them are EVM compatible. But
Hmm.
those are all public blockchains. As you know, that Bitcoin was started because we wanted to move away from the centralized authority that was there, like banks and such. So public blockchains are formed so that you can keep a track of where the transactions are going. We as a community, we wanted that to be implemented within the government, but that didn't happen till now. So, but still, it poses a threat. Instead of providing a blessing, it becomes a threat for the users because as a user, if you are trading regularly and your wallet, gets a hold of someone who can find it on blockchain explorer, they can track your wallet balance, how much balance that you have there you have in multiple blockchains, how much you're trading, where you are trading. So for a new entry level user who is not that much tech prone, so they can get targeted by hackers easily, which is happening right now. If you see right now, billions of dollars already stolen within just 6 months of 2024. And why that happens is because hackers can see your wallet. They can go to the blockchain explorer and find these wallets which are trading more, and they can just target it. Like, let's say for instance, you as a user, you trade on a particular exchange, and then you take out the funds and go to a social platform, let's say, and connect your Twitter account for there. And they're able to see, okay, somehow that, okay, this wallet is connected to this Twitter account, and or maybe this Twitter account has posted about this wallet and the transactions. So they can track who your real identity of that person is, and they can target you, they can target your emails, they can target your phones, which is happening on a daily basis. So that was the reason this from public blockchain 10 was formed. 10 is trying to build the first EVM compatible L2 blockchain, which is completely encrypted from core. So like if you go on 10 blockchain and make a trade, which is right now in testnet, your transaction history is only visible to yourself. Nobody will be able to see your transaction history or anyone else. So that what they're just taking Ethereum and making it encrypted and scaling.
Okay, so it's completely end-to-end encrypted. That would be like its greatest USP, and it
Correct.
is EVM compatible.
Yes, correct.
All right, okay. And so you're building one of the first exchanges on 10? Would
Yes,
that?
ours is the first one. Also the native
Okay.
DEX on the
All right. Awesome. So now, obviously you've mentioned it yourself. There are many chains, there are many dexes, and your USP is end-to-end encryption. Can you tell us a little about that end-to-end encryption? I understand obviously that it's not solely your encryption, it's the chain's
Yeah,
encryption. But
yeah,
if you could show, shed some light there so that the user feels a little more at ease, because what you
yeah.
said does make sense that hackers do, target certain wallet addresses depending on the kind of transactions that are happening. So this would put traders' minds at ease. And if you could tell us a little about that in perhaps a not so technical way, it would really help.
Yeah. Yes. So I'll put it in a simple words. Like Chimp Exchange works as the basic trading platform in 10. Obviously, the core encryption feature comes from 10. But as Chimp Exchange, we also try not to store any data. So once the mainnet goes live, we will not be storing any of the data. So by design, 10 doesn't provide any data to us as well. So when a user makes a trade on Chimp Exchange, we don't store any information of that particular user, how much they're trading. It all goes to the smart contract, which has the data in it, but it doesn't store any of it. Yeah, the 10 does have data revelation method in terms of like if there is any illicit traders or funds that comes to 10, it can be, go through a DAO if someone challenges that, okay, this particular funds are not came from a right source, so that can be tracked, but that goes through data revelation. But the basic trading that happens on Chimp is where we don't store any data, and that creates an amazing platform for the traders, as uh, only they will be able to see what they're trading and how much balance they have. Plus, even if they have the wallet of anyone else, let's say the 10
Hmm.
Explorer doesn't allow anything to be tracked. Like they don't allow to add any wallet. Even if you are able to somehow get the wallet, and
Hmm.
try to find which transaction detail. The transaction details show encrypted, so you cannot
Oh,
read that transaction details at all. By
okay.
the way, not just a trading platform, we are building a lot more features. Right now, we
Hmm.
have just launched a basic version of the DEX and the testnet. We are working on a lot of features which will provide, like previously, Launchpad is one of the one other thing that we have provided.
Hmm.
We are building a rug-proof Launchpad for projects where people, let's say, if you are a project, if you want to do a token IDO sale, public sale for users, and you want to do it completely encrypted, and also users want to invest, but they don't want their wallet to be shared where they're investing, so anything that happens on the previous launchpad will be completely confidential as well, both for both projects and users. And we have a mechanism for the confidential KYC for the projects as well, so that it doesn't happen rug for the users as well. So, but there are other features are in pipeline as well. In time, we will reveal those features, but right now we are at a position where we don't want to reveal those features as being the first text.
Sure. I understand. But this kind of leads me to two questions. I'll start with the first one. You mentioned that if there is some sort of a disparity or somebody takes a particular transaction, then there is a DAO mechanism to figure out the details. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, because as you know, if we go completely, on the encrypted side, if we are not able to get the data somehow, then it becomes a problem as well, which happened with couple of projects in the past. I won't name them, but it happened with the projects which were targeting privacy in the complete sense. But what happened was there was no way to get the data. But there are always malpractices that happens on platforms like these. People try to bring funds which are illegal or some way, do maybe let's say uh, try to launder money or something. That happens as well. We are living in the Web3 world where this happens. So 10 has a mechanism called data revelation, which balances this both thing. So let's say they have a DAO, and through that, if someone's mentions or someone comes into 10, okay, these source of funds we have tracked from this blockchain and which came to 10, and these are not correct source of funds. These are illegal. So what they can do is can raise a issue in DAO, and the community can vote on it, and they have a year to disclose the data of these particular. If the DAO agrees with it, they can move forward and release the details, and which makes a healthy balance of both, so that they make sure that no illicit funds comes to the platform and being traded on it as well.
Right. So for this mechanism to actually work, you would perhaps the chain itself does have access to that data. It's end-to-end encrypted, but it is end-to-end
Yeah.
encrypted uh, for the public perhaps. But the entity, the chain itself, they are able to read these transactions and they have all of these details. Like it's not like a complete end-to-end encryption in that case, correct?
No, it is encrypted. Even the team cannot it wants it, they cannot see it. It
Hmm.
goes to the smart contract if it gets voted out by the DAO. And
Understood.
that gets raised within the DAO as an issue. Okay, that this data is there and this is the transaction details. I haven't gone through the complete technical of it because how it works, because 10 only introduced it a few months back and they're still working on it. By the time they go to mainnet, they will have a complete procedure or a process of how it will work. But I'm sure about it because I got in the conversation with the team a couple of times about data revelation, and they said nobody will have access to the data until it gets disclosed through the data revelation to the smart contract.
Understood. Okay. So considering, you've mentioned that you're not entirely clear on the technical details, maybe we can share some documentation in the podcast description and people can
Absolutely.
go through it, right?
Sure.
Because I'm sure that there are some nerds pretty much like me who have some follow-up
Yeah.
questions and they can go through that. So now to the
Abs-
other question. Yeah, I think, if you could share it or we'll pick it up from the website and we'll put it in. But the other question that I had was about the compliance or the legality. Like, how are you sort of, is there something which is legally, in a gray area when it comes to this, and how are you sort of skirting around it? See, I know the entire decentralized tech in different countries, there are different issues, and most of it, like the policymakers are still, trying to uh,
still catch up, right? So I
Yeah.
understand that a lot of it is in the gray area, but do you have any compliance, like, issues that you have kept in mind that, you're actively trying to work towards so that you don't fall on the other side, and,
Yeah.
with the policymakers?
Yeah. So we do discuss a lot about this, and as a decentralized platform, the major thing is that there is no particular law about it, nor in India nor in other countries. So it has, because the issue happens is when you connect it with the any of the local currency of that country, let's say INR or let's say USDT. So this happens with centralized exchanges a lot, because they start dealing with these currencies, and a lot of scams happen, and then centralized authority is exposed. But obviously, being a decentralized exchange, I can speak for ourselves, where we never touch fiat in any manner, and all the trading that happens is we will always be 100% on crypto. And coming to the confidential and encrypted aspect of it, as I said, we are just a platform which provides an access for people to trade on 10 blockchain using the encryption that they provide. So we won't be storing our single data for users. So even in a case where any of this comes from the authority side, when they require data, they can just directly go to 10 and ask for the data if it's required. I cannot speak for 10, but as a Chimp Exchange, we doesn't come under any of these gray areas, because if there are any rules in the future about DeFi, then surely we will discuss it. But right now, it's all in the air. It's you can say we haven't come to fixed amount of legality on it. But we are registered ourselves in a couple of countries, let's say, and we have rules in place where when any of these things happens from the authority side, we are pretty prepared.
Okay. Can you tell me a little about the countries that you have registered yourself in? Considering you're a DEX, that seems a little unusual.
Yeah, so we have to launch a token as well. I cannot
Right.
reveal as of now. We have to release a token, Chimp, in the future, and I cannot disclose the country per se, but yeah, for that to go hand in hand, we have to go through a foundation and DAO model. For that, we do need a registration to launch that.
All right. Okay. So considering this is something that cannot be disclosed, we won't deal and delve more into that. But I would love to understand. You mentioned that, you don't want to deal and touch with fiat at all. So there's not going to be
Yeah.
any on-ramp or off-ramp solution on
No,
your platform, right?
no. Yeah, because I've seen in the past as well with couple,
That
let's
is
say
where the trouble starts, basically.
yeah. Basically, the trouble starts there, and I've seen it with centralized exchanges which are registered within the country, have complete documentation, and then they start offering on-ramp and off-ramp solutions, and then that's where the trouble starts in, because users, or maybe let's say people who do these illegal practices, they find a way somehow. It can be P2P trading or any other way. If you provide them a link between fiat and crypto, they will try to find a way to cause trouble. So that happens, and we as a decentralized exchange, we never want to get involved in fiat in any way.
Okay. Can you tell me about the, two major challenges that you guys faced while you were building Chimp Exchange?
I would say, because before this we have two versions. We have a cross-chain DEX, we have a encrypted DEX. Cross-chain is already deployed on linear blockchain, and we intend to go towards more EVM blockchain as well, and offer cross-chain as well as encrypted DEX there. But the major challenge that we faced while building Chimp was on 10, because at that time there was no other DEX that was building on it. So we knew that it was difficult to build on 10, since there is no data that comes out of it. So there is no subgraph or any of the DeFi projects to build on it. So it took us a lot of time to figure out, and took help from the 10 team itself. That was one of the technical challenges that we faced, and it took us about a couple of months to just figure out that and launch. And that was one of the challenges. Second challenge is, there is so much competition in the DEX space, let's say DeFi space. Uh, DEXs are launching here and there, and most of them has a similar product, And that is where we're currently working on. We are trying to work on some tools and features that can set us apart and uh, help the real user out there. So a simple user, let's talk about in a DeFi space. They don't want to deal with hundred of the taxes. They just want to trade funds. So like, let's say if you are a user and you want to trade Ethereum or let's say Matic, and you don't want to be shown 10 different exchanges. There just has to be simple interface where you can trade any of these funds, and that's where we're currently targeting, because there are so many altcoins coming in every day. You cannot list every altcoin on the DEX because it requires a lot of liquidity. So we are trying to build a platform where we can offer most of the altcoins in a manner where it is the UI UX feels like a centralized exchange, and also provide these tools for them to make DeFi and trading easier. We will be coming up with a lot of trading based tools as well, which will create an entire ecosystem in itself, which will make it the whole process of DeFi and trading simple for the end user. And anyone coming from Web 2 to Web 3 also can feel the same. So this is the current of the second problem that we are currently solving, and it is still under process. I won't say that we have solved it. Yeah, still under process.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I think it's a dynamic
Yeah.
problem to be solved
Correct.
as it is. So we need to change this every day. You mentioned that your cross-chain DEX is already
Yeah.
live on Linea. You've mentioned, right?
Yes.
It says
Correct.
ZK EVM, correct?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Can you tell us a little about that, and why did you sort of choose two different chains? Okay, if you could throw a little light on that as well, I think it'll help some entrepreneurs who have this a little bit of a hang up that when they initially want to
Yeah.
get into a particular niche, they don't want to touch two chains, right? At times they do have that issue, maybe because of resources. Eventually, people do that, but initially they don't. And because you guys have done that, I would love to know your perspective as to why you've chosen this path.
Yes, so it was a difficult choice for us, but when we deployed on Linear, I remember the time. It was around July, then we started building on it, and September we were ready with the testnet. So what we did wrong was, I guess, in the beginning, we were very fast with the development and marketing and launch. Projects take 6 months, 8 months to build the product, then take feedback, and then launch it again and do some marketing. It is a bootstrap exchange, like bootstrap project for us, and we did everything very fast. We built the exchange, and we made a balancer fork, and we implemented the UI UX and the whole ecosystem in a way so that launchpad exchange and everything can be accessed by the NFT. So that was the initial concept. We launched it in September and October. By November we were live on the mainnet, and we were very early and fast in terms of deployment, so that we didn't took time to really focus where the blockchain was going. At that time Linea was solving the fee issue in November, and comparing to other blockchains, when Linea went on to the mainnet, they were targeting anywhere around 20 cent to 30 cent around fee. But later, when the mainnet went live, the fee was around $2 to $3 per transaction, and that was very high for the initial users. And we got in touch with the Linear team couple of times around that, and they told us that okay, it'll be taking couple of 2 to 3 months to solve that issue, which they eventually did. But recently, they haven't been able to solve that issue until I guess June. So yeah, so that was a tough call for us, where we wanted to expand, but due to lack of support from the Linea ecosystem at that time, and the trading fee issue, we couldn't move ahead with Linea, and we thought, okay, let's take a pivot and go somewhere, offer users something that is not available in the market. And that's when we came to know about 10 blockchain and the encryption, and we said, okay, are there any other dexes that are providing encrypted trading? And there wasn't any. So
Right.
we decided to move along with 10.
All right, understood. So, can you tell us a little about the traction that you've seen on the cross-chain DEX so far? Because I'm assuming that, Chimp Exchange is still, because the chain is on testnet, it will be on testnet, correct? And if you could
Yeah.
shed light a little on both, like the traction that you've seen on both the sides, that'd be good.
Absolutely. So when we launched Chimp on Linea, still on the mainnet, it was doing around. Uh, let me just get the data in front of me right now. Uh, yeah, so we have done a cumulative of. We were doing an average of $4,000 to $5,000 a month daily volume, and a monthly volume of, let's say, 400 to 500K. And that was not that good, but yeah, we were doing a pretty good volume in terms of in just within a 1 month of launch. And till now, we are also have gotten a TVL of 25K, which is nothing of that sort. But comparing this was the TVL that we got in the first week itself, and after that we stopped promoting ourselves on Linear. But yeah, it is currently live, and still it is still doing volume on a weekly basis, and we plan to revive it again on Linear itself. But this is the current stat on Linear. We got around 40,000 users on the cross-chain DEX at that point of time, when we in December we're talking about, and it currently stands to around 10,000 plus users who are trading on Chimp Exchange on a daily basis on the cross index. Coming to 10, we launched the testnet in May 27. It's been almost around almost 2 months. It's going to be completed in 27 July. And we have already gotten 60,000 plus wallets that have transacted on it, and out of which 50,000 are unique wallets. And the number of signups that we have received to try the mainnet product are over 20,000 plus. So we are increasing at a rapid pace. Last month we were standing at around 25,000. Right now we are 60,000, and we intend to complete 100K users by August end. And the idea is to reach 500K users upon mainnet.
And this is for the chain, not for Chimp
No,
Exchange.
this is for the Chimp Exchange. Chain has around 700K.
All right. Okay. Awesome. And in terms of community building, because you're in testnet here, these
Yeah.
sound like wonderful numbers, and I think as you mentioned that it's a work in progress, right? And it'll only increase. So kudos to you guys. But touching upon how are you building the community? How are you educating the user? How are you creating brand awareness around your products?
Absolutely. So I wanted to do from the beginning of Chimp Exchange. I didn't want to spend much on the marketing because I was following a project called Pixels before building Chimp Exchange. Pixels is a very good game that started the marketing with a budget of just $5,000 for the whole campaign, and they increased it exponentially towards an amazing community via their tasks, their game and stuff. But obviously there was a game, so it was easier for them to get players on board because they had a good product. So the problem with us was that okay, there are so many dexes out there. How should we get that good? So we started with a budget of $1,000 only initially, and I basically asked my team, okay, let's not spend any money and try the best we can to create an organic community. So, and obviously, Linea team did help us in, retweeting and everything and co-marketing. But what we did was we did two things. And that is a advice for all the entrepreneurs who are building Web3 projects. What they can do is we started with the first of is partnering with all the major projects that are building in that current same ecosystem. We did that once. We started with the co-marketing and couple of educational campaigns. And then we started, second thing was ambassador and influencer program. So we rewarded these ambassador influencer program in the form of XPs and future tokens. So that was the part. We got at least 600 plus applications in that ambassador influencer program, and we onboarded around 150 plus influencers and ambassadors, which helped us boost the entire thing or Chimp Exchange. I remember it only been 2 months, and we saw our Discord just blowing up, and we were like, okay, this is we were not expecting this good of a response. Our Discord was around 5,000, and then it went to 8,000 in the second month itself. And everything that has been on Twitter till now, the number of followers that we received in December to Jan was completely organic. 12K on Twitter and 8K of community on Discord. So that was a really good thing. And also third thing that I would like mention is Chimp Drop. So we started our own airdrop campaign, which was not a, let's say, how do I put it? in terms where you have to just guess about how much you're going to get. So it was a fixed airdrop model, which we call Chimp Drop, and it is currently active on the Chimp website, where people could just have to reach a rank of 15,000. And if they rank based on the task that they do, based on the transactions that they do on the testnet, how much volume they are doing, how many NFTs they're doing. So based on that, they get a rank, and if they are able to get a rank under 15,000, they will be part of the Chimp Drop. We took a snapshot back in March, and the Chimp Drop campaign 2 will be starting next. So based on these organic activities, we were able to create a good amount of community, and now we have just started our paid marketing to increase it exponentially. I hope it's too not too long.
No, it's absolutely wonderful that you kind of touched upon the two campaigns that you've done, including KOLs as well as doing an airdrop campaign. These are, tried and tested good ways to ensure that there is some engagement in the community. So
Yes.
that's wonderful. And now, in terms of the next big milestone for you guys, is there something that you can point us towards in terms of the two products?
Yeah, so on the encrypted DEX, so what we would be proceeding with is onboarding as many EVM blockchains. We are already talking to a couple of them. So the idea is before we go to mainnet on 10, we have a couple of blockchains in place ready to deploy the Chimp Exchange and offer both cross-chain and encrypted trading models on their particular blockchains, and provide their users with a taste of a platform where they can do normal trading, but if they want, they can also use the encrypted DEX trading as well. We will also be launching at the same time after the TG, obviously, when we go live in mainnet. We will be launching a series of products and tools that will make it a trader-centric platform, and make the whole life of a trader very simple. So that is the second goal that we were targeting, which is simple, safe, and secure. Simple is already in process by the UI that we are creating, UI UX, and the whole ecosystem around NFTs. It will make it simple. Safe is via the encrypted that we are providing, and secure also. So that is the target that we have. Around with numbers, I'm talking like I've already told you, around October we are targeting around 500K users that we want to reach. I know that's an ambitious number, but the pace that we are running at right now, we can go near that number and reach that amount of wallets or users who will be trading on Chip Exchange. And with the help of being the native DEX on 10, I think we can achieve that. Plus, on the social side, we are right now doing our paid marketing, and we are hoping to get a good number of traction in terms of onboarding users from all different blockchains. So I will just give a hint of what is coming next. We are launching Chimp Drop version 2. The last Chimp Drop got us 40,000 users through that campaign, and we are targeting a 10-fold campaign compared to the last one in end of August. And I think based on that, we can easily achieve our targets.
Okay. And no, I think to be ambitious is a good thing, especially in Web3, considering, you guys are doing well, you're catching momentum. I think nothing like it. And it's good to aim high there. So now let's zoom out a little bit and talk a little about the DeFi space in general. What is your outlook on the market currently? What are your thoughts like with this? Obviously a centralized exchange getting hacked is very different from perhaps a DEX, but in general, where do you think does the market stand currently, and what is your outlook on it? Do you think better things are coming?
On DeFi, absolutely better things are coming, because I remember the last time that these kind of hacks started happening, like with Xerex. So I think it was 2022 when DeFi shot up. I have the data with me right now. So the total value that increased in DeFi skyrocketed in 2022 when most of these hacks that happened regarding Solana and FTX and everything. There's a lot of exchanges being going down and hacked. So at that time, I think users started noticing, okay, it is not as safe as they thought storing their funds and trading on these centralized platforms. Even if they do KYC, even if there are so many audits, even if there are so many checks in place, authorities being involved, KYC being done, there are still hacks. So it is like users started noticing, okay, if you do some safe practices, we can also store our funds ourselves in self custody wallets or maybe ledgers, and then they can start using these decentralized platforms. And that's when the volume in DEXs and lending protocols skyrocketed as well. So now this happening again, I think boosts users' trust in DeFi, and I see it going even up further. And you can see the difference in trading volumes when these hacks happen. Centralized exchange volumes on these particular platforms decreases exponentially, while decentralized being stable. So I think that's a I think a milestone for DeFi in general, where we are progressing right now. It is just blue skies ahead.
Brilliant. Any particular products or niches you feel would do splendidly well in this upcoming bull run?
I think AI is absolutely killed it in 2024. It has been the projects that are building on AI. Obviously, there's a trend there that obviously it will always be there that as soon as one trend hits, most of the entrepreneurs start building on it to get the juice out of it. That is always be there. Apart from that point, I think AI has been doing good, very really well. RWA, I'm still looking forward to it, that it will perform better, but I haven't seen something out of the box or out extraordinary out of it. But yeah, privacy and maybe encryption is one thing that is upcoming, and I think we are right on time. So we will be seeing the next year about when, because now apart from these hacks and being done, and people are now more mature compared to the people who have been in the market, let's say, who are there in 2016 and 2024 now. They have seen two market cycles in blockchain. So now I think they are more mature. They know when to take profit. They are getting out. So you see these mini bull runs coming in, mini bear markets coming in between. That's when the market is getting mature. If people know when the market has taken a significant run, they take profit now. So they're
Right.
not sitting idle. So they're getting
Right.
smarter, because most of the people like myself in 2017 and 2020 bull run, we didn't take that much profit. We thought, okay, the Bitcoin will go higher, 100K. I think these targets are what made people think, okay, let's not keep measure Bitcoin's price movement with targets. Let's see it with percentages. And with percentages, every bull cycle, or these 4-year cycles, the percentages are decreasing. Not for the newer altcoins, but for the matured ones. So I think people are realizing that, okay, where the market is going. I think they will really soon realize that, okay, where they have to trade, which platform they have to choose. And I think encrypted platforms are one thing that will take the lead in 2025. And I think AI and RWA are still good to move ahead in 2024.
All right, okay. Because there has been a lot of folks who are perhaps very skeptical about AI tokens. Because, again, because perhaps it's very new, and there's been a lot of noise around it, but people want to wait it out and see if there is an actual PMF. But you seem to have a very positive outlook towards it.
Because when what happens with general market users out there is, most of the people want to just make money in crypto. Very few percentage of people is there for the tech. It's the actual truth. So if you go there, if I'm, let's say, I'm investing in a token right now, I also want to see if it is providing, if it has hype, if it have traction. Even the VCs they see right now is then I've taken a lot of meetings with VCs recently, and very few go and deep dive into the tech. They see more about, okay, what the traction is all about, how the tokenomics are, because they want to get the money out. And same with the retail users as well. They are just running on behind, which is trending, which is AI right now. So any project which has AI in its name, they do very really well because the end user or maybe say degens really buy into that hype on the token launches. But I would say if any project is, I've seen a couple of projects who are building on AI and Supra and other blockchains also, they are using AI to make life simpler, and that is the core purpose of AI. Artificial intelligence is born to make the humans' life easier, and I think if we can incorporate that into many of these projects coming up, and if they can utilize it properly, they will really take a lead in the AI game. But yeah, I would say it is still upcoming and new. It is a trend right now, but it has to evolve into a mature market, which is still pending.
Right. It's still yet to sort of find its niche in PMF.
Right.
And I totally agree there. Are there any books or thought leaders, podcasts that you would like to recommend to our listeners?
Books, I read into entrepreneurs books only, like Startup, Lean Startup, Mark with the Ferrari. I read recently. I've done a Shoe Dog. I've read recently. But podcasts, I have no particular podcast that I listen to. I have a couple of YouTubers and couple of thought leaders in Twitter that I follow. And I keep track of them. I can share a list of them, but I don't remember most of them by name. Most of these are Twitter profiles that share a lot of valuable insights. Zach XBT I follow most of the time. That is one of the inspiration I got into learn more about encryption and the how the wallets being kept being tracked. So a couple of them are Elon Musk I follow on a regular basis, and I get influenced by the journey and entrepreneurship and how they are able to move ahead without being expert in it. I think reading and I think learning is one thing that is ongoing, and I have no specific interest. I have been like that since my childhood days. I guess I have never focused on one particular person who I've been following. I just get whatever information I can. I subscribe to topics on Twitter, and whatever comes in that feed, I just keep absorbing. Or I'm a very avid Googler, so like just keep Googling everything. If I come across something that I don't know, I just Google it, read about it, and just make my notes. That's what I do.
That's wonderful. I think you should be a constant learner, and whatever works for you, as long as you're able to keep the wheels moving and not getting rusted, it is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So, Akshay, this has been a wonderful conversation, but we are running out of time, and I would love to uh, ask you two things. How to perhaps, if somebody wants to get in touch with your team, or they want to work for you, or they want to contribute to your project, how do you wish our listeners to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So they can go to our Twitter, which is called our ID is Chimp Exchange, and then they can join our Discord link is in our Twitter, so they can join our Discord. We
Okay.
post most of our updates on Twitter itself, but if they
Okay.
want to get into a personal conversation with our team, they can definitely go to the Discord, go into general chat. We entertain. We have active modes. They are 24/7. They talk to people, listen to their concerns, and if they have a problem around it, or maybe they want to get in touch with the team, they can raise a ticket there. We are available to solve the tickets as well. And we post most of our latest developments on our Discord as well. Plus, we are coming up with a couple of more weekly updates for our audience, and that will be starting within this week itself. And we are very active right now on Twitter. We have every week we have multiple AMAs where we target our listeners about different topics, encryption, tracking, doxing, trading. So we do these AMAs regularly on Twitter as well as Discord.
All right. Okay. Wonderful. So basically, reaching out to you via socials would be a good idea.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Can you tell us a little about the team, that is behind Chimp Exchange?
So we are right now 8 people team. As you know, I'm the CEO and Tejas is the CTO. Tejas Chitnis. Right now we have two other co-founders, Rahul and Saurabh. They have been also we started the Chimp Exchange together and we have been in touch since 2016. We have done multiple businesses and the Web3 agency that I talked about initially. We founded it together as well. We were working on multiple projects together. They were handling finance and operations, and right now, even in Chimp Exchange, they're handling finance and operations, and they just handle all the tech on that goes behind Chimp Exchange. We have Nidhi, who takes care of marketing, Pradeep, who takes care of content, and a couple of more team in the social media side as well.
Excellent. And your team would be remote, right?
Yeah. So right now we do have an office here in Gurgaon, but in Delhi, but yeah, most of the team, let's say half of the team works remote.
Okay, awesome. Again, Akshay, this has been a wonderful conversation, and thank you for telling us so much about Linea as well as 10 and what you're building on top of these chains, the Chimp Exchange as well as the cross-chain decks that you guys have built. This was very enlightening, and I'm sure that many builders will take inspiration from your journey. Now to my last question, which is something I ask everybody who comes on the show. You are somebody who has been in the Web3 space for like 7-8 years now. But before that, you were not primarily in Web3, and you happened to get into Web3 because your interest got piqued. If there are similar, a similar dilemma is faced by other people, what would be your advice to them for them to start living on blockchain?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I guess for people who like stumble upon blockchain, I would say get a mentor first, which was one mistake that I did. I think that was one mistake that I haven't followed ever in my life. I relied on knowledge and reading a lot. But I would say if you want to fast track yourself, get a mentor in the blockchain space. Like do work for them for free. Go work in the organizations for free. But get a person. First of all, finding a mentor is very important. Like you are choosing the right person who won't just use you, but also like help you with your career, understand you, what your goals are. So if you are able to find a mentor who is a leader in a blockchain space and can guide you, so your journey can become 4x the speed that was if it has initially gotten. So I think that is one advice I would say to anyone who is getting into blockchain. If that can be for starting a job in Web3, that can be for starting a project in Web3, that can be only for trading or maybe getting started with buying altcoins or NFTs or trust like that. If you have someone who have done it, just go ask them, tell them, okay, I'm ready to learn. I'm happy to help in your personal projects if that is required. I think that would really make someone's journey a lot faster. And I think a good example is the teams that I've worked with in Web3 in the last 7-8 years. I've worked with so many interns who started with the Web3 without even knowing what blockchain is, and when after their internship was over, they were just starting a job which initially would have taken them 2 to 3 years just to get into that position. So I think that really, as from experience, it really gives you speed.
Right, absolutely. I think people who've been there, done that can lend you a helping hand. And this is a small ecosystem. After all, in its infancy, you can always find some right people who can shed light on that path that you have undertaken. So that's wonderful
Correct.
advice, Akshay. Thank you so much once again for taking the time to speak to me. Before we wrap this up, any parting thoughts?
It's nice connecting. Oh, this is my first podcast. I guess I've done a lot of interviews, but podcast, I think this is one of my first one. So really thankful to you, Tarusha. The questions and everything was streamlined. I never faced a challenge there. So kudos to you and for organizing this podcast. Really wonderful talking to you.
Likewise. Thank you so much.